France has more licenses to fish in UK waters than every other continental member of the European Union put together, a startling new analysis has indicated, despite President Emmanuel Macron's comments regarding access to British waters. The total tonnage of French fishing vessels cleared to operate in UK seas massively exceeds that of all of the Royal Navy's fleet of frigates combined, Facts for EU has pointed out. Meanwhile, report author Lee Evans has accused Mr Macron of attempting to bully Britain, while dismissing French objections as absurd. The pro-Brexit think tank used figures published by the government's marine management organisation last week to suggest despite the vehement objections, France did not have quite such a raw deal as has been suggested. Facts report shows, the number of UK fishing licences granted to France exceeds that of all other continental EU countries combined, i.e. excluding Ireland. The French now have almost 4 times as many UK fishing licences as the Dutch. They have more than 6 times as many as the Danish, more than 8 times as many as the Spanish, more than 11 times as many as the Belgians, roughly 15 times as many as the Germans and Portuguese. Additionally, the total tonnage of French fishing ships operating in UK waters, 81,874 tons, comfortably outstrips the weight of the Royal Navy's 12 frigates, 58,800 tons. The MMO figures indicate 1,681 EU vessels have been granted licenses to enter British waters, within 200 nautical miles, since the start of the year. Of these, a total of 738 were granted to French vessels, with only Ireland, with 364, coming anywhere close. France's figure represents 44% of the total including Ireland, and 56% of the total excluding it. Nevertheless, French officials voiced their unhappiness this week out after the revelation that the UK had offered just 12 out of a possible 47 licenses to smaller French fishing boats. With specific reference to the Jersey, authorities have refused to grant fishing licenses to 75 French fishing vessels to access its waters from the 30th of October. Only 35 small vessels from the entire EU27 fleet have been refused licenses, simply because they have so far been unable to prove they were fishing within the 6-12 nautical miles of territorial waters off the British coast prior to Brexit. Ms Girardin, France's maritime minister, has claimed Prime Minister Boris Johnson's government is dragging their feet or failing to live up to their commitments. She also warned French retaliation could involve energy supplies, educational exchanges, trade flows and rail links. Mr Evans concluded, history tells us, and most people's everyday experiences support this, that the only way to deal with a bully is to stand up to him or her. It is now well over 5 years since the British people voted to leave the European Union, and yet it seems that there is no end to the EU's vindictive and bullying ways towards Brexit Britain. Theresa May's government unfortunately pursued a policy of appeasement at every level, and when you give in to a bully you merely enable him. Events have proved this once again. Mr Evans, Facts for EU's chairman, added, the latest storm in a tasse d'eau from Monsieur Macron is over the denial of a very small number of licenses to French boats to fish in UK waters. There is no question that the UK's Maritime Agency has acted efficiently in handing out almost 1,700 licenses to EU fishing vessels. If the French are incapable of making correct applications in over 9 months, then it is hardly the UK which is responsible. For President Macron's government now to be amassing EU-wide support for trade sanctions to be threatened against the United Kingdom over such a trivial matter of French making is not only absurd, it is completely unacceptable and must be rebuffed immediately.